Howdy folks, I do want to talk about gin and tonics today because if you've been following along on the Instagram feed, you'll know that for the past couple of weeks I've been on vacation in England. So I thought I'd just share a few thoughts I had along the way that hopefully you'll find interesting or informative. We're going to talk a bit about G&Ts. Let's go. Okay, so I got three sort of points I want to bring up. One is that black pudding is weird. For my first breakfast in England, I had a full English breakfast. I figured I should give that a try. Baked beans at breakfast is weird, and black pudding tastes kind of weird. It's weird, not in a bad way, interesting, but for breakfast, no thank you. I had that one time. I'm glad I did. I didn't have that any more times. Now, the number two thing I want to talk about is the beer. English beer has a reputation for being, warm and flat, which sounds gross. The thing is, it is warm and flat. It's delicious. I really like it that way. There's two ways you can get your beer. You can get it on draft, where they sort of pump the beer out of the keg manually, or you can get it on tap, where the beer is carbonated and it's dispensed with CO2. I prefer the draft method. It was cool and weird and exotic to me, available everywhere, and they had different beers that I don't have here at home. In fact, I drank some IPAs, which, if you're from the Pacific Northwest, IPAs come to mean insanely hoppy, like over the top with hops, and their IPAs are just sort of normal amount of hops out of the draft. Delicious. Real breath of fresh air to have a normal IPA again. Now, number three is, of course, the big topic for this video, gin and tonics. When we were getting ready to go on this trip, I had thought, England, there'd be a lot of scotch available, and maybe I'd try some weird scotches or something. Turns out, scotch, not that popular. Now, where we were in Dorset, which is sort of the south coast, sort of east-west, sort of in the middle, but then all the way to the south. In Dorset, really, gin and tonic was the thing. Most places would have maybe 1 or 2 bottles of scotch, but they would definitely have 5 or 6 different gins. And I'm talking about in the country, like in small little villages, they would have 5 or 6 gins available. In London, of course, it's more easy to get scotch, but they would have, 10 or 15 different gins. Gin was definitely the thing. Quick sidebar, we went on a tour of the Beefeater distillery while I was in London because that was something exciting I wanted to do. It's a pretty fun tour, but we were in sort of various different pubs across the Dorset countryside. We were on a walking tour, actually. And in all the pubs we went into, I think I saw Beefeater one time in a bar. I thought that was pretty weird. I thought Beefeater was like, a popular gin. Apparently not that popular in England, or at least in Dorset. We did see a lot of Hendrick's, a lot of Tanqueray, a certain amount of Bombay Sapphire, Roku gin we saw, that was kind of fun. And then also various local gins that you could get. Anyway, here in America, gin and tonic is kind of a nothing drink. It's like a thing you order when you don't know what to order at a bar. It'll be just whatever gin is in the well. They usually have tonic in the gun or something. Maybe you get a lime wedge, and that's it. It's nothing to get excited about. But in England and other places like Spain, it's actually a thing that take seriously and actually enjoy. It's still a very simple drink, but there's a lot of different options. Different gins, different tonics, different garnishes. There's a lot of possibilities. Now, there's some major differences between our American G&Ts and the English G&Ts. One is that it's served like in a big goblet, like almost like a big wine glass. They'll put ice in the wine glass, pour your gin into the ice, and then they'll serve it to you with the tonic on the side. So you can pour your own tonic into your drink. It's kind of funny because you don't even have to order a gin and tonic. You can just order a gin and they'll automatically give you tonic because of course you want tonic. And they're gonna ask you what gin you want, so you could just walk up and say, I'll have a Tanqueray, please. They'll ask you if you want a single or a double. A single's 25 milliliters and a double is 50 milliliters. 25 milliliters is just under an ounce and 50 milliliters is a little over an ounce and a half. Now, a double, of course, will have more flavor and more gin flavor, but a single gin and tonic is not even an ounce of gin. You could really just drink that almost like a soda. You're not going to get drunk from drinking those. Kind of great for a summer afternoon. And they'll go pretty hard on the garnishes. One place we went to in London had like a specific garnish for each gin, and they would pair different gins with different tonics to sort of create the perfect gin and tonic drink for that gin. Now, we were in mostly more rural parts of England, but even so, a lot of them had Hendrick's, and they would all give you a cucumber in your Hendrick's gin, for sure. But then some other garnishes we had that were cool. I had like a apple in one of them. There was strawberry and cracked pepper, some lemon slices, orange slices, of course, all sorts of stuff. Now, I've said this before, but there are no rules to this. Now, the other important ingredient, of course, to your gin and tonic is the tonic. We basically only saw Fever Tree tonic. One fancy place in London had another option for tonic, but pretty much Fever Tree premium Indian tonic was the only thing we saw. And I don't know why that is. Just Fever Tree has a lock on the market, I guess. But it's pretty good, so I'm not complaining. All right, I got some tonic at the store today. I got some gins we can try. Let's make some gin and tonics. We'll mess around with the garnish for fun, and we'll just see what happens. I got a couple local gins here I think I might try for fun. The first is Aria Gin. Aria Gin from right here in Portland. It's a strong gin. It's a little bit savory. It's not like super junipery, but it's kind of boldly flavored. It's good. For this Aria Gin, I decided to try peppercorns in my G&T. I also have some blueberries in the garden that are coming ripe, so I'm gonna put some blueberries in too. One thing about blueberries in your drinks at the end, you can eat some gin-soaked blueberries. Who doesn't want that? For the other, I got some Freeland Gin. This is another Portland-based gin. Really good, but a little bit more citrusy than the other one. I thought that would be a nice contrast. For that, because of the citrus, I'm gonna go ahead and put in just like a lime wedge, like I normally would, but I'll also put in some raspberries. Let's do that. I'm not even gonna do a montage of these because, to be honest with you, it's too simple. Like, you put gin in there, and then you put some tonic in there, garnish, that's it, that's all there is to it. Try my Aria Gin and Tonic. A couple of things. One is that my glasses aren't quite big enough. What you really want is a little bit bigger glass. I can't quite fit the whole bottle of tonic in here, but it's fine. One neat thing with peppercorns, the bubbles from the tonic actually sort of make the peppercorns float up and down. It's kind of neat. You guys, a gin and tonic, amazing. It looks really good. The peppercorns are giving me a little bit of a peppery spice note. It goes really well with this gin. Home run. I will say, if you don't have a straw, the peppercorns can sort of get in your mouth while you're drinking, which is not ideal. Just use peppercorns at your own risk. All right, this will be my Freeland one. Also looks nice, a nice lime in there. Freeland and tonic. Lovely. A little flat, maybe not quite as flavorful as the Aria. Maybe that was the wrong garnish. Maybe I should try a different tonic. These are all the questions you need to ask when you're trying to come up with your ideal gin and tonic. So listen, I just wanted to make this video, tell you a little bit about my trip, encourage you to try some nicer gin and tonics. Try different gins, try different tonics, try different garnishes. You can literally garnish it with anything. So, try variations, have some fun, no rules. I guess that's it. Watch this video of Susan and I being chased around the English countryside by a pack of sheep. Stay till the end and turn up your volume. All right, we'll see you next time.
Holy fuck. They're coming this way. This isn't a very good video. They've stopped.